From Midland, Odessa, and Big Spring, this is ABC Big 2 News at 10.
Developing now at 10, yet another mass shooting in this country tonight. We're getting late-breaking details on the deadly shooting at a church in Southern California. That video is on the left as a helicopter lands to airlift victims out. More on that in just moments, but first, we begin in Buffalo, where authorities say the mass shooting there was clearly driven by racist hate. 10 people were shot and killed.
This is an absolute racist hate crime. This is someone who has hate in their heart, soul, and mind.
I turned around, she wasn't there. And I said, "Where's my baby? Has anyone seen my baby? Where is she?" I didn't know where she was.
And thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Rob Took. Tonight, this investigation in Buffalo is moving fast. Authorities are revealing more about the gunman's past, and ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas is in Buffalo tonight, where he leads us off with more about what authorities have learned.
Tonight, law enforcement sources telling ABC News that less than a year ago, Peyton Gendron was taken into custody, accused of threatening behavior around the time of his high school graduation. Those sources say that when assigned to write a paper about his post-graduation plans, he allegedly referenced committing murder-suicide. The school called the state police.
The individual was brought in for a mental health evaluation. He was evaluated and then he was released.
There was an investigation, but no charges were ever filed. Today, former classmates Nathan Twitchell and Cassandra Williams describing Gendron as quiet and shy.
He was just this quiet, smart kid that I wouldn't think could be able to do anything like what he did yesterday.
But nothing even close,
Still just blows my mind.
But one thing about him did stick out.
Once COVID hit, he wasn't ever really at school, other than once, right when we came back, he showed up in like a hazmat type suit.
A full hazmat suit.
What was your reaction to that?
I mean, everyone was just staring at him.
Still, Gendron graduated, his parents both engineers from the state of New York, throwing him a party under a big tent on the lawn of their home. He enrolled at Broome Community College. But at the same time, if his online screed is to be believed, the alleged teenage gunman was planning his attack for years. His young mind consumed with racist, anti-Semitic, and anti-immigrant messages he found on the internet.
This event was committed by a sick, demented individual who has fueled a daily diet of hate.
In the document, Gendron embraces the white supremacist theory known as the Great Replacement, the racist belief that white people in the U.S. will eventually be replaced by people of color. Gendron allegedly scoping out a target where he could find and kill black people, acquiring an arsenal. One gun a gift from his father, another purchased legally from a store in Pennsylvania. The owner of Vintage Firearms in Endicott, New York, not far from Gendron's home, says he legally sold the 18-year-old the Bushmaster semi-automatic rifle used in the attack just a few months ago. A source telling ABC News the killer wrote racist slurs on that gun, as well as the names of previous mass shooters.
Also developing tonight at 10 o'clock, a mass shooting today in Southern California. One person was killed and 5 others were injured. The shooter is described to be a man in his 60s. All of this happened in Orange County in the city of Laguna Woods. Some of those parishioners hogtied the shooter before law enforcement arrived. ABC's Carlos Saucedo reports from a hospital where 2 of those gunshot victims were sent to.
The gunfire erupted inside Geneva Presbyterian Church in Laguna Woods just before 1:30 this afternoon. About 30 to 40 people were inside during a lunch banquet when the suspect opened fire. Sheriff officials say there's a total of 6 victims. One of the victims died from their injuries on scene. 5 others were injured, 4 of them in critical condition and had to be rushed to hospitals. The other person sustained minor injuries. The Orange County Fire Authority had paramedics on scene treating and transporting multiple victims. Some of the victims had to be airlifted to area hospitals. All the victims said to be adults. We understand parishioners were Taiwanese. We spoke to a gentleman who said he sang at that very church.
That's very, very bad. It's a beautiful area, lovely people, and a lovely shop there. And we've sung there on occasion and loved it. And we're sorry.
Somehow, church members were able to restrain the suspect, described as an Asian male in his 60s, and hogtie him until authorities arrived. 2 handguns were recovered on scene. Obviously, this could have ended much worse had those brave parishioners not stepped in.
And that was Carlos Saucedo reporting. Here in the Basin, Odessa police have released the name of a motorcycle rider who was killed today in a crash. Police say 23-year-old Elijah Barrera was traveling westbound on University Boulevard when he crossed through an intersection at Adams Avenue. Police say he collided with a 56-year-old driver in a Chevy pickup who was also in the intersection. Barrera died on scene. Now, at this time, no criminal charges have been filed, but this investigation continues. And across Texas, at least 2 people were killed in a shooting inside of a flea market. At about 1 o'clock this afternoon, deputies in North Harris County got the call multiple people were shot. At least 3 men were rushed to the hospital, including a potential suspect. Deputies say the shooting may have stemmed from an argument involving everyone who was injured.
There was an altercation between 5 Hispanic males. The 5 Hispanic males got into a fight.
And investigators say there were no innocent bystanders nearby who were physically harmed. Deputies have 1 of 2 possible suspects detained, and the sheriff's office said this was not random. And a look at what officers were dealing with in Uvalde County, just west of San Antonio. During a chase on Highway 55 there, the sheriff's office said the driver of this car shot at deputies. No injuries were reported, and 2 people in the car were arrested after a struggle. It's not clear what charges they are facing, but deputies recovered this AK-47 and a pistol, which were right next to the driver's seat. And you can stay up to date with crime happening in Texas and in the Basin on our website, yourbasin.com.
And now your forecast first on ABC Big 2 News.
Well, the weekend has come and it went. Before it left us, we did have some warm temperatures. Today we came in our triple digits at 101 degrees. A warm day, but not like what we're used to in May at 88-degree temperatures. We didn't break our record like how we did back in 1996 when we sat at 103 degrees. I'll have more of this new week's forecast later on the show. Back over to you, Rob.
Thank you, Bridget. And coming up tonight, dreams are coming true for one Texas teenager. She just graduated law school at 19 years old. And coming up in sports, a busy day in baseball. We have highlights from the Astros in Washington and the Rangers at home. And before we go to break, we have a quick community bulletin alert about a lost dog. This is Dan. Dan is missing. He weighs about 60 pounds and needs his medication. Dan, the dog, has been missing for about 10 days now. The yellow lab looks red. He was last seen on West Shandon Avenue in Midland. That's not far from the Whataburger on Midkiff and Wadley. The family is offering a $1,000 reward. Have any information? Send us an email at news@kmid.tv, and we will put you in touch with the family. We'll be right back.
World has made us all more demanding. Movies don't come out, they're just out. Even instant noodles aren't fast enough.
Hey, order ramen.
Ordering ramen. So you need the power of complete connectivity with our award-winning internet combined with Optimum Mobile. Now on the T-Mobile network, the leader in 5G coverage and speed. Get both for under $30 a month at suddenlink.com. Suddenlink is becoming Optimum. Let's reconnect.
The all-new Franklin Power Recliner, featuring the latest in recliner technology, manufactured by hard-working Americans. Now, you won't find this anywhere. Superior engineering allows Franklin to offer forever frame, foam, and mechanism warranty. This Franklin Power Recliner quality starts at only $5.96, or less than $13 a month. Insist on a recliner with a forever warranty, and that technology's only from Franklin at Bob Mills.
If your floors look like this, then it's time to call West Texas Commercial Cleaning. Using one of the most advanced floor cleaners available, they'll make your floors shine.
West Texas Commercial Cleaning. Let us bring your floors back to life.
At West Tex Urgent Care, we were created with our patients in mind. We go above and beyond to ensure that you see a qualified provider in a timely manner and receive effective treatment. We're safe, we're open, and we care.
You had me at Allison 10-speed transmission. Premium features available on GMC Sierra Heavy Duty. Step up to GMC with 0% financing on Sierra Heavy Duty models. GMC, we are professional grade.
It's Macy's Memorial Day sale with incredible furniture and mattress specials, like this outdoor sofa, $9.99, and the customer favorite Jolene sectional, $13.99. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying purchase, now at Macy's.
We're your local weather authority. We warn you first. Our team is working around the clock to keep you and your family safe. What you need to know on ABC Big 2 News. Watch Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Beck from West Tex on Good Morning Basin. Now, your local weather authority forecast.
Well, it's Sunday, and it was a sunny Sunday in the Basin, a triple-digit kind of Sunday. But now our Sunday has come to a close because outdoor is looking pretty dark because the sun did go down. But not only that, but some clear driving conditions in the Midland area. Taking a look at that Midland Tower Cam. Now, we did go through our triple digits, but now our temperatures have cooled down slowly but gradually. We are sitting at 87 degrees right now. A warm day in the Basin, but taking a look at our humidity, we did go all the way up to 8%, very low, and then our dew point 18, and then our winds are traveling southwest at 5 miles per hour. So our sunset did go on tonight at 8:39 p.m. But before it did that, we were sitting in triple-digit heat, sitting at 101 degrees for today. Around this time in May, we're definitely used to 88-degree temperatures. Now, a warm day in the Basin, but not as warm as how we're back in 1996 when we sat at 103 degrees. So just 2 degrees short, we could have broke our record back in 1996. Taking a look at our lows, we did come in warm for that as well. 68 degrees for our lows. Around this time in May, we're definitely used to 62-degree temperatures. So definitely not too bad whatsoever. Now, taking a look at everyone else's temperatures in Midland and Odessa, 103 in Big Spring, 103 in Snyder, 103 as well, along with Fort Stockton and in Wink. In Pecos, all the way up to 104. So taking a look at all of that, everyone pretty much in their triple digits, but we do have the Guava Pass sitting at 96 degrees today, Marfa 94, and in Alpine 97. So pretty much triple digits for the majority of all of us. Now tomorrow morning is going to be a muggy morning per usual, what we did see this past week. We will be sitting in our 70s, a muggy start, and our winds will be traveling southeast 15 to 20 miles per hour. So we're going to start off at 71 degrees by 8 a.m. Then we're going to increase our temperatures all the way up to 91 degrees. We're going to be heating up, but it doesn't stop just there. By 5 p.m., we will be sitting very hot for our very hot afternoon at 102 degrees. So definitely not too bad whatsoever. Now, with that heat and that low humidity, we currently do have a fire weather watch in Loving Reeves Ward, Winkler County, but also in Midland and Odessa, in Fort Stockton, Marfa, Alpine, and in Dryden, lasting until tomorrow, 9 p.m. Central Time. Now, we do ask you, I do have a couple hot tips, temperature tips for you guys. Avoid outdoor burning because of that fire weather warning. Be sure to hydrate and wear sunscreen, and also find shade or sit in the AC and pretty much try to limit any outdoor activities. Our kiddos going to school, we're going to start off at 71 muggy morning, and then by the time they leave school, we will be sitting at 101 degrees. Definitely not too bad whatsoever. I know it's pool temperatures, so our algae report does show, you know, our trees and our dust are the only high ones for tomorrow, but for the most part, not bad. And what I do want to show us is that, Rob, we're going to stay in our triple digits until Thursday, and then if we want to say we cool down, then we do to 97 degrees.
Absolutely, a small cool down, we'll take it, but that heat, it's dangerous. It's a good thing we're looking out for that and watching it. Bridget, I'll spend the next few days in the movie theater.
Okay, there you go.
AC is.
There you go.
All right, thanks a lot, Bridget. And new at 10 tonight, a Texas law student is the youngest black student to graduate from law school in the entire country. She just walked across the stage to get her diploma over the weekend, and at just 19 years old. Our Julia Washington has her story.
Maybe it's destiny, or some might call it fate.
I graduated high school at 13, I graduated undergrad at 16.
Now, Haley Schlitz is on her way to become a licensed lawyer after graduating from SMU's law school.
At 19 years old.
Yes.
That is insane. I want to hear all about this. Actually, for the longest time, like the first maybe like 12 years, 13 years of my life, I actually wanted to be an ER doctor because my mom's an ER doctor.
Before she decided what she was going to do, who she was going to be, she had to do a little soul searching. And it all started when her parents pulled her out of public school to homeschool her.
All the way up through 4th grade, everything was fine, you know, a little kid enjoying school.
Then this happened.
We had experienced a lot of racism in the school, and the teacher was teaching slavery. Other students that looked over at me and was like, you know, if we lived back in that day, I would own you. And of course, I'm 10 and they're 10, so what am I supposed to say?
Homeschooling did make it possible for her to fast-track her education, though. She decided to pursue law because she feels that's where she can really make an impact.
I want to go into educational policy.
Her mission, now personal.
I'm passionate about racial equity, gender equity, just education equity, teacher diversity.
She hopes to have a hand in legislative work, working alongside elected officials or even nonprofits. Her drive and motivation...
Are you gonna make me cry?
Proud doesn't begin to describe what her family is feeling.
Never was, oh, we're going to make her into this superstar or the path that she ended up making for herself.
Her dad told her as a baby,
Haley, the world is yours.
Now she just wants to leave her mark.
Eating lunch for breakfast, not letting people tell me what I can and can't do.
What an incredible achievement. Congratulations, Haley. That was our Jayla Washington reporting. Now, the work is only just beginning for Haley. She's going to begin prepping for the bar exam tomorrow. She plans to take it in late July. It has been a couple of tough years since the pandemic started, and for some people here in the Basin, it's been difficult. But there's help out there. A local group is dedicated to helping and healing others. ABC Big 2's Ozzy Mora has their story.
Mental health has often, throughout time, been looked at as something very private, something that we don't discuss.
Centers for Children and Families Marketing Director Melanie Size says times have changed and now more people are more open to discuss mental health.
Our message is mental health and physical health are the same. They work together. They're both very important.
Centers in Midland provides mental health services and a safe space where people can find the tools they need to heal.
We provide mental health services to everyone at an affordable level. We provide free services to those who cannot afford.
It also provides counseling, mental health education and outreach, post-adoption services, and so much more. The organization provides help for anyone who needs it.
Centers has always spent a lot of time trying to lift the stigma.
And since the pandemic, the need has increased.
Of course, that means that there's a lot greater need. More people, more than ever, need mental health services.
Centers wants people to know it's available for every obstacle they may face.
When people are struggling, it makes it very difficult to do everything else in life.
She says for some, hardships can become a ripple effect, but the end goal is to find hope.
Basically, we help keep a light on for those who feel like they've lost some hope.
Ozzy Mora, ABC Big 2 News.
And Permian Basin Gives is a 24-hour telethon where you can help your local nonprofits. And coming up in a few moments, our Samantha Smirchniak talks with a local group that's helping veterans reach new heights, quite literally.
And now, your ABC Big 2 Sports.
All right, starting first in sports tonight, in the NBA, the Mavericks eclipsed the Suns today with a blowout. A look at tonight's score. Going straight to the Rangers and Boston. Oh, hold on. All right, well, Rangers were held without a hit through the game's first 4 innings. Top of the 5th inning, 1 on, no score. Rafael Devers roped a pitch from Martin Perez, and then Enrique Hernandez scored. Boston leads 1-0. Bottom of 5th, same score. Cole Calhoun launches one over the wall off Tanner Hoke, his second of the season, game tied at 1, 6th inning, 2 on, same score. Adolis Garcia sends a no-doubter off Ryan Brazier for a 3-run home run, his 5th of the season. Rangers lead 4-1. Garcia knew this one was gone as soon as it left the bat. Rangers lead 4-1. Next batter, Calhoun hits a solo home run off Brazier, his second of the day, 3rd of the season. Rangers go back-to-back and lead 5-1, 8th inning, 1 on, same score. Garcia blasts a 2-run home run off Tyler Danish, his second of the game and 6th of the season. Rangers win 7-1. All right, Astros in D.C. First inning, Justin Verlander working in a jam. First, he strikes out Nelson Cruz swinging. Next batter, Ariel Hernandez is rung up on strike 3. Verlander escapes the threat, no score. 3rd inning, no score. Josh Bell grounds one up the middle off Verlander. Aledmys Diaz picks it up and throws over for the out. Nice play by Diaz, but still no score. 5th inning, still no score. Martin Maldonado belts one deep off Patrick Corbin for a 2-run jack, his 3rd home run of the year. Astros take 2-0 lead. 6th inning, same score. Yuli Gurriel ropes a shot off Corbin that carries out for a solo home run, 2nd of the season for Gurriel. Let's look at that replay if it's coming up. Yeah, he's showing off his golf swing right there. Houston's up 3-0. And moving on to the 7th inning. And same score.
That's a big lead.
Chas McCormick drives one deep off Corbin for a 2-run homer, his 3rd of the year. Corbin is pulled and gives the home plate umpire Angel Hernandez a sarcastic thumbs up. Hernandez did not appreciate the gesture, but Astros go on to win 8-0.
He pops it up.
So what happened?
Young man has a souvenir. What a catch. Go!
And in Tampa Bay, where a father made a nice play on a foul ball and then gave it to his young son, this little fella gave the ball a good look and said, nah. He decided to just toss the thing because I guess baseballs were made to be thrown, of course. All right, and coming up tonight on ABC Big 2 News at 10 o'clock, recognizing one of our many hometown heroes, tonight we pay a visit to the Odessa Police Department, where one sergeant gets quite the surprise.
Sauce, don't you? So it's not just ranch, it's got a little zing to it.
Yeah, like a dilly ranch. Don't dilly-dally with this. Get to Sonic.
Don't dilly-dally, run. Sonic, big dill cheeseburger.
This is kind of a big deal.
You're a big dill.
We should talk about the elephant in the room. I just wanted to say, you had me at Allison 10-speed transmission. Premium features available on GMC Sierra Heavy Duty. Step up to GMC with 0% financing on Sierra Heavy Duty models. GMC, we are professional grade.
The radical left wants to destroy our heritage, remove monuments honoring founding fathers George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. Even in Texas, Liberal Land Commissioner George P. Bush proposed a woke plan to reimagine the Alamo and demanded that the monument honoring the Texas heroes who died there be moved. In the Republican runoff for Attorney General, protect our Texas heritage. Defeat George P. Bush.
You know how you could really win some brownie points with the lady? How? Going and picking up a brownie batter shake.
Don't you think that's obvious, though? Do you think she would know that you're trying to get brownie points?
That doesn't
matter. Sonic brownie batter and yellow cake batter shakes.
Now to honoring our hometown heroes. This month, ABC Big 2 and our partner Carpet Tech paid a special visit to the Odessa Police Department, where we got to meet with a sergeant who's really making a difference inside and outside of the police department.
Ever since I was a little girl, I actually wanted to be a vet.
Lindsay Wachoff had plans for a career growing up. Whatever it was she wanted to do, she wanted to help others. In college, she tried dispatching. It was her first experience in law enforcement.
Once you got a little taste of it, I needed more.
Lindsay is approaching her 10th year in law enforcement this July. She's a sergeant now with the Odessa Police Department. And if there is one thing that has kept her in law enforcement, it's this.
Honestly, it's the community. The community is the one that pushes us to strive better, to be better, not just personally but professionally.
And working in the city of Odessa, Lindsay has an opportunity to do a lot, and she makes the most of it.
There would be a little kid and going and visiting their schools, or just helping someone across the street, or helping someone with their crash or a report.
So Sergeant Wachoff's colleagues only felt it was right to nominate her as a hometown hero.
Or this month's hometown hero. With that, we're also wanting to give you a free entire house cleaning, all the floor in your home, whenever you're ready for it.
Most of us in law enforcement, we chose this as our lifestyle. So we're not doing this for the awards or the recognition. We do this because we're called to it, and helping is what we want to do.
And Sergeant Wachoff is also a peer support coordinator within the Odessa Police Department. Members of the peer support team make themselves available to other members of the police department if any emotional or tangible support is needed. And coming up, we take a look at another local organization here in the Basin, one that gives veterans of our armed forces a trip of a lifetime. How you can help this organization continue with their mission next.
Big 2 Sports, brought to you by Glasheen Viez and Enderman Injury Lawyers.
At Glasheen Viez and Enderman Injury Lawyers, we know how to get results for our clients. We respond immediately, we investigate aggressively, and we hold careless companies fully accountable. We know because our experience is with catastrophic injury and wrongful death cases. That's what we do. We win, and we win big. That's our history. You know us. We're Glasheen Viez and Enderman Injury Lawyers.
Dude, great ride, right? This Silverado keeps me connected and in control. And this touchscreen is my command center. My command center.
The 2022 Silverado LT. Find new control. Find new roads.
Well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% financing on all 2022 Silverado 1500 pickups. New models are arriving daily. Secure yours today. Chevy drives Texas. Find new roads.
The Tempur-Pedic Breeze makes sleep feel cool. So no more night sweats. No more nocturnal baking. Or polar ice cap air conditioner mode. Because the Tempur Breeze transfers heat away from your body. So you feel cool. Night after night. Experience the mattress ranked #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power 3 years in a row.
And right now, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets. And get a $300 gift. Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right Tempur-Pedic.
Professionally trained account executives help businesses get results through advertising. We are a results-driven team. Our ABC Big 2 account executives love helping your business tell your story to over 500,000 people in West Texas. We want to be your marketing partner. We're on fire about growing your business.
The annual Permian Basin Gives Telethon is coming up on May 17th. And just 2 days away, ahead of the event, we are showcasing some of the nonprofits you can donate to this year. ABC Big 2 Samantha Smarechniak tells us how Permian Basin Honor Flight is giving back to local veterans.
It's a fast-paced, all-out trip, and we just don't cut any corners. We give them everything they so deserved, if not more.
The Honor Flight program works year-round to send World War II, Korea, and Vietnam veterans on an all-expenses-paid trip to Washington, D.C. for the trip of a lifetime.
As soon as we get off in Baltimore, there is a huge welcoming in the airport. People are lined up, gates stop loading planes, and they honor these vets all the way through the airport, all the way out to the bus.
From there, veterans visit memorials, museums, perform special ceremonies, and pay tribute to those who lost their lives in the line of duty.
This trip is full of emotions. It is a lot of smiles, but there's times of heaviness. But after that heaviness and maybe a few tears to be shared, which is okay, then you see the smile again.
Wesley Smith says he developed his passion for this program after taking the Honor Flight trip with his dad, who's a Vietnam veteran.
We were always close, but I think it brought us even closer. And also for me to also maybe help walk him down a path that it's okay to bring some stuff to the surface and walk through a process of healing.
And their goal is to honor everyone in the Permian Basin who served from 1941 to 1975.
It don't matter if their duties was stateside. It don't matter if their duties were in Japan or Germany. It does not matter. They are a veteran of that era, and they deserve to go.
Samantha Smrachniak, ABC Big 2 News.
And these trips are fully funded by the community. To make a donation to Permian Basin Honor Flight or any other nonprofits participating in the 24-hour telethon on May 17th, just head to PermianBasinGives.org. And coming up after the break, Bridget will have one last look at the forecast. Stay with us.
Nigerian royalty to poverty, from the Navy SEALs to the silver screen, this U.S. veteran's unbelievable journey to excellence.
Person can't be this lucky.
He joins us live on Morning in America, tomorrow, only on News Nation.
And what you're looking at is breaking news right now.
We just got to where this police chase ended.
One nationwide manhunt, and only News Nation broke the story. Not CNN, not Fox News, not MSNBC. News Nation, news for all America.
Earn an associate degree in respiratory therapy from Midland College. This is a 20-month curriculum, 66 semester credit hours. This program prepares students for an allied health specialty that cares for patients with cardiopulmonary deficiencies.
Dude, great ride, right? This Silverado keeps me connected and in control. And this touchscreen is my command center. My command center.
The 2022 Silverado LT. Find new control. Find new roads. Very well qualified buyers can get 1.9% financing on all 2022 Silverado 1500 pickups. Chevy drives Texas. Find new roads.
Allen's Gallery has been serving West Texas since 1995, and we are proud to carry some of the best furniture and mattress brands still made in America. Lazy Boy, Best, Mayo, Wow-Pedic. For almost 3 decades, Allen's Furniture has been the #1 price leader, and we will continue that tradition at Allen's Gallery. We'll save you money. Wow!
It's Macy's Memorial Day sale with incredible furniture and mattress specials, like this outdoor sofa, $9.99, and the customer favorite Jolene sectional, $13.99. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying purchase, now at Macy's.
Let's take one last look at that 7-day forecast. Tomorrow will be very hot, 102 degrees. Then we cool down by 2 degrees if you want to call it cooling down to Tuesday by 100 degrees, and then back up to 2 degrees once again at 102 for Wednesday. And then we cool down 1 degree to 101 on Thursday. And then if you want to say that we cool down on Friday, then go for it, because we will be sitting at 97 degrees. Then Saturday we cool down just a little bit, by 10 degrees the day before to 87, and then back up to 89 79 degrees on Sunday. Now, the one thing that we have throughout tomorrow and Sunday is the sun is going to be out. Not only that, but temperatures will be sitting in the triple digits for the first half of this new week. Super exciting. I've asked for this triple digit heat, Rob, and it's here. And now I kind of sort of want it to go back because it's only May and I want it to be June, July so that we're seeing these temperatures, but it's okay. I'll take what I can get.
It's either too cold or too hot, no in between. Also, something happening right now, the blood moon, total lunar eclipse.
Yes.
Right now, outside, folks, hopefully you can go outside and poke your heads out. I don't know if it's a little bit cloudy, but we'll see.
Clear
anyway.
skies.
That's what we're doing right after this.
Yes.
That's all the time we have for news. Good Morning Basin starts at 5. Thank you for joining us, and good night.